How about my dearest YouTube friends? Today we are in a new video, in this case of the raids of the Fantastic Force saga, because if they already came out yesterday, and in this case you are watching the video a day later because I had to upload the Alien Urso, which is that it is more important, but don't worry because the raids are also here. They last for a month, and in this case I am on a client's account that I have to do these sagas of the Fantastic Force that I recommend to you that if not I can't. Can you pass them on? Do you have my WhatsApp in the description so you can pass them on? It is worth remembering that the new bosses of these raid sagas are Invisible Woman and Silver Surfer, two characters that may be bothering us in certain nodes that Kaban himself gives us. Okay, and especially the RNG. But above all, here comes the important thing. In Sector 7, we are going to be able to get 7 chipmunks from the Titan, and above all, the most important things like this research scholarships. Apart from that, we will also be able to get points from the event. Tomoner Fest. Okay, so they're pretty rough prices, pretty good. We also have grade 4 alphas as you're seeing on the screen, and we also have grade 73 basics. I recommend that you do not miss these totally unusual and quite good prices. So if I already told you, you can't miss it. You have my WhatsApp in the description, and I do it for you without any problem at a super low cost then. But if you want to try it, because I am going to give you the best tips to be able to take the best attackers in this without hesitation. Fantastic. And what hacks you receive so you can get everything you can. So let's start right now. We have it here, window capture. Here we have the best attackers for the fuse incursions of the Fantastic Force. In this case, the Fantastic phrase is made up of mystical, cosmic, and technological scientific characters. Therefore, what they dig us, he said, is that the previous hacks belonging to the Dar Phoenix saga of raids are going to serve us. These incursions, so they have not removed any. In fact, they have added. It is worth remembering that you have this Excel in the description of the video in the channel's own tier list, in the Sony tier list that has it there, and in a little tab it is called Incursions of the Fantastic Saga, and you have it there and you can see it. Okay, so in this case, I have selected the best characters for this LA saga. These raids of the Fantastic Force, like scientists are Conde Nefaria, they are Spider-Woman, they are Quicksilver, the Red Guardian, and Human Torch, but you may also be running the Immortal Population and the Leader. If, for whatever reason, you don't have those characters above in Mystique's, Dr. Duni Tigra can work very well for us, especially because I remind you that we have Silver Surfer as the boss character in certain rooms, and Rimtrak and Kindre can also serve us. In Cosmic Galan Aeroman Superior of Arphenis, they can serve us perfectly in certain nodes, and in the Cosmic ones that can also work for you since they are Hyperion. Angela, especially Angela, is very happy if you know how to fight with her. Don't worry because I'm going to give you more tips later on who I really did it with. Odin and Screen are very top characters for this fantastic and technological force that also look quite strong in these new incursions in the saga because they have put in many modifiers, many hacks that they have to do with Armor Bastion, Red Skull, Future, Ant-Man, and Warlock are the best to give him, but Arminson as Sentinel and Omega Sentinel are not far behind. Okay, so these are the best characters. With this, we are going to be forming a series of teams at the end of the video, which is what may be most useful to you. But first, friends, let's go through the recommended hacks and raids. Let's get the first one. This Burst of Armor, which is a new hack that they have put in about about 6 or 7. What happens is that I have made a selection of the best that will serve you the most. Armor Burst. What it tells us is that the attacker's basic attacks have a 40% chance of granting a 40% armor upgrade for 10 seconds. The final blow of special attacks deals a burst of direct damage to scale based on the percentage of current armor, minimum 14% and maximum 126%. Therefore, friends, in reality, any character can benefit from this burst of armor, this hack, but the characters who already have will benefit from it. In case you have these armors, Bastion, Red Skull, Warlo, Furto, Ranman, even Angela, let us remember that this is also generating that improvement in robustness and Omega Sentinel. With that, you are going to power up and you are going to get the most gross damage. In the end, with armor, you get more and more. With the blows, you get more and more. And with that, throwing super attacks, you will do much more damage in the form of a burst of damage. 10. So this hack is literally key to being able to do a lot. damage in these raids? Okay, then we also have the combat course. It is another quite important hack since at the end of a non-harmful disadvantage, which for example can be the stunning of the stopping mastery itself, which is why it is so good, it has a 50% probability of obtaining a 50% fury improvement for 10 seconds at a maximum of 10. Only up to 4 furies can be obtained. Therefore, any type of character is good for us here, but we can do characters that have non-harmful disadvantages like Spider-Woman with those disadvantages she has, and on top of that by winning those furies. Turn into passive furies with Benefaria with that accumulation of energy, Quicksilberg with those withers and so on, the leader with the disadvantages that Angela Spectrum has with the demolitions, Odin with his demolitions can also help us a lot in this hack. It is also a quite important hack because we can be developing the damage more easily. Then the other character, hack that they have given us is the special counter attack. Whenever an electric hole is activated, the defender also has a 50 dexterity boost percent for 10 seconds, maximum accumulations 10. And while any of these are active, the impacts of zero attacker special attacks are passively unblockable. In this case, we have few characters who use electric stings in this saga, therefore it is whether you are going to use Spider-Woman yes or yes. You have to select this hack and Human Torch because it also has electrical stings, but with its Nova Flame and apart, it is good to kill all the mystics we are going to face. And then friends, there are the other improvements that are not really new, we have them again around here and which are also quite key to being able to achieve damage, development, regeneration. Especially here, I would tell you, for example, about the abundance of relic improvements. It's pretty key because if you're going to bring Angela, a cosmic character that generates a lot of improvements, because every time that has an improvement, 50% chance of having another random improvement for 10 seconds, every big more and more 10, the activation property decreases. Okay, then we can also do very well with the strategic movement of the relic, activate Eudution or activate an attack. Deftly touches summonable charges of fury. This is also a very famous hack in these raids and they are going to help us gain fury simply by being skilled at the opponent's attacks. Therefore, it is going to be very good for us. So I also recommend this hack. Then we also have the toxic advance that we have here again and the strong unstoppable or unblockable attacks and 20%. But there is another with an armor improvement that grants 1000 armor index for 15 seconds and is a disadvantage of poison that deals equal damage. So in this case, it is quite good for us because while we have our armor, we will be able to leave poisoning disadvantages that inflict additional damage. And if the attacker has a relic, he has better armor, they grant more armor and money disadvantage. Therefore, we make them take less damage from us at the same time, and we are also going to cause damage due to disadvantages. And if we already combine it with the armor burst hack, we're going to be doing even more damage. Okay, we have pain and gain, which in this case comes out quite well for the characters I know. That generate, for example, Count Nefaria. This for me is one of the most important hacks. Regeneration effects gain 10% power and each time a personal regeneration effect is obtained and the attacker has a permanent passive fury, increasing their damage by 10% of their base attack. Any character that regenerates is going to be quite good for us. In this case, I see it as key for my Count Nefaria. If he made a toxic one, another node that is good, another hack or rather that is spectacular for us in these incursions, since the attacker earns 50% more from the option of disadvantages during super attacks while the defender you are suffering a non-harmful disadvantage. The attacker regenerated 2%. Therefore, here with Benefaria, Quicksilberg himself, the leader, is spectacular again. Characters that have disadvantages, no, not harmful, will make the disadvantages last much longer, and apart from that, we are going to do much more damage. And on top of that, we regenerate. Therefore, the Kphon Toxic is also key that you are choosing it in these own raids. Then we have the second chance, which is now it has cost me because I have already done it to about 8 clients or so. And the second chance, I haven't had very few clients anymore. What does the second chance thing do? Well, once per fight, if a blow does not leave an attacker in his place, he gains a useless passive that lasts 7 seconds. During this time, the defender is more aggressive. Every time the attacker is hit, he gains a fury passive. At that time, this is very important. It is as if we literally call the handle synergy to avoid that damage when they are going to knock us out. Therefore, the second chance is also very key, but I have already told you about 8 or 9 clients that I have done. It has only worked out, I think, in 2 or in 1. Okay then? It is important. And then we finally have the regenerative front, that when the defender is hit with 1 second medium attack, a passive healing block is inflicted for seconds. The defender is blocked by healing. The attacker gains 100% attack and regenerates 100% of the damage inflicted, which is also key literally to survival in these raids thanks to that regeneration that the hack itself is allowing us. So folks, that's why this is the so to speak, the summary of all the hacks that you must be taking into account, that you must be selecting, and that you must be using in these raids depending on the characters you are introducing. Because now we are getting involved with the best teams that to pass these incursions. My team is going to hit you because it is not a normally known team. In fact, I think only CS made a video talking about this synergy. And friends, I started with this team, okay? Right now it is for you. Covering my face, I just put it on, I changed it, and I'm going to explain it to you in my method. In fact, with many clients, when I have seen that they have Angela at least in rank 2, you are going to see what a piece of character fury. Why, friends, Angela is key to the raids with Odin synergy alone. Don't throw her in, but with Odin synergy, she is the key. Why, friends? Because what Odin's synergy does to us is that for each fight we win during the entire mission, it will increase the damage and duration of our Angela's advantages by 5%. Okay, so that's very, very important to remember that raids have a minimum of 3 fights per fight, therefore in 10, we already have 30% more power. Of all the improvements, the more doubled Angela is the better. I use the 7 star in rank 1 in my account, but the 6 star in rank 4 can serve you perfectly and doubled by 40, so the more it doubles, the greater the probability we have of winning those improvements. So what's the key with my team? Well, you are already seeing Angela Godin and Galan himself, and the key, as I have put it here, begins in room number 1 in fighting with the Galan to be able to win that burden that we can obtain to obtain the Herald of Galactus. So with the second fight, we put in the preludes of the Herald of Galactus and we put in the pre-struggles of Odin. In this case, I recommend that you use a 6-star Odin. If you have the 7-star one too, then exchange it. In this case, that's what I did with 6-star material, 7-star Angela, and 6-star Hunk. Well, I don't have a 7. So with that, we put the 6-star Odin plushies, we put the 6-star Galan plushies, we put the Aldo ones, and with that, we are going to further enhance our Angela. We do the second fight with Angela, we do the third with Angela, and then already in room number 2, we change A to Galan, effectively for Condenefaria, which for me is the best thing. That's why I tell you that Galan has done me a lot for this mission. Okay, these incursions look too white to me. Forgive me, is it just too white here? Okay, then I'll tell you. My team has been that Angela, Odin Galan, and then Galan. I changed it to Conde Nefaria, and later when they allowed me to change it again, I changed Odin, the 6-star one, to the 7-star one, to do even more damage with that, literally with Angela and Conde Nefaria. It's just that you're fuming. All the characters that put you ahead of you, but hey, if you don't have Angela or you don't want to use her because she's not a character that doesn't have her uploaded or you haven't used her, don't worry, it's because I bring you 3 more options. In this case, as we have said before, the armor, the hacking of armor is very important, therefore it is important that you have one of the strong technological characters with armor. The second option that is also told to a client was with Red Skull, as you are seeing here with the Nefaria and Spider Woman. Here in these hacks, the armor itself with Nefaria comes in handy. To Regeneration and Spider-Woman with the hack we saw before the special counterattack, as her strength is due to those electrical stings. But the third option is also very, very good. Do we have the Ant-Man of the future? Thanks to those new robustness, Spider-Woman can serve us very well because of the damage it has. And Kindred, you will say, Kindred Oysters, why have you put Kindred in these saga raids? Well, because friends, let's remember that we have a stop defender, or so to speak. The special defender of these final saga bosses is Silver Surfer. Therefore, many improvements are generated, and there are many RNG nodes that duplicate the improvements or something like that. Well, Kindres here is spectacular for you. In fact, he did it to a client and came up with precisely 0 expenses. And finally, the fourth option is to go for the full armor with Bastion with ultra massive damage due to the disadvantages of disintegration and Red Skull thanks to those 3B. Those advantages of robustness with those physical races and with Nefaria. Here the key is that the Nefaria and Spider-Goman are some of the best. And if you dare to try what I have told you about Angela's synergy, more than better. So friends, well, in this way, the best characters, the best hacks, and the best teams would remain to give this saga fantastic strength of raids. I hope you liked the video. I suggest if you are not, and see you in other videos. And I remind you that you have my WhatsApp in the description in case you can't handle these incursions of the Fantastic Force. I will do it for you at a fairly low price compared to the competitive one. So yes, I say goodbye. See you, bye bye.